You know, in that video, I'm listening to my Spotify playlist. I spent years building up that Spotify playlist. It's such a bummer that they're not doing the right thing here. They have a position of power where they can put
Continue
down,
on Aliso Creek Road for 2 miles.
they can throw down the gauntlet. They can throw down the gauntlet and say, no, we're not going to allow misinformation to be passed anymore. They can do this. They can absolutely do this. But what we've seen during this pandemic is greed. Not only, okay, let's clarify. It's not only the greed of corporations that want to exploit the situation. It is also the greed of the grassroots live stream network and people like Joe Rogan, who also want to. Let me put it like this. I'll put it like this for you. So you've got the Joe Rogans who already have the contract. Jimmy Dore already has the contract. It sounds like Fiorella and Pasta already have a contract where they're getting paid to pass off this misinformation. But then you have people like Don Ford out there trying to build up his resume to get the contract, right? He's trying to get the contract. He's so jealous of these other people, and he keeps putting out information that they're copying him when in fact he's copying them, because he wants the contract too of putting out misinformation, and he's already doing it. And okay, so I just recently discovered that the cast of, well, at least the three dudes, the three younger dudes, not Danny DeVito, but the three younger dudes from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, recently started a podcast. And I guess that's because I did a little digging on this last night. I guess they got renewed for 4 additional seasons. I haven't even looked this up because I barely ever watch TV anymore. But they got renewed for 4 additional seasons, I guess, like last year or something. And so now they have a accompanying podcast, and it's really funny because these dudes are funny. The show is entirely based on improv, and I actually called one of my political mentors who is super into Seinfeld, and I'm like, have you ever checked out this show, because it's really fucking funny. It's way more horrible. Their characters are way more horrible than what you can find on Seinfeld, but it's basically kind of the same sort of humor. So they have a podcast now, and it's very rare to get me sucked into something because I just don't even have the attention span or the bandwidth to watch things anymore. I don't even watch the news anymore. I read articles, right? But I have so little time now because, like I said, I'm leaving 9:45 in the morning to get up to a park by 11 so I can be there for the staff meeting in advance. And then I have to stay late too. I did pack a fantastic lunch. You know, I think the other team leads are a little jealous of my organizing abilities in regards to packing my lunch. Not only am I eating healthy, I told them straight up, I keep dried fruits and nuts in my car constantly. I know, yes, I am stream of consciousness. Get used to it. Not only am I eating like tons of dried fruits and nuts.
In a quarter mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto El Toro Road.
And this is totally making me regular, let's be real. I don't want to get too gross with you, but yeah, I'm like getting so regular because I'm eating so much fiber now. But I packed so many fresh vegetables.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto El Toro Road.
And fresh fruits. And I got a juicy ham sandwich in there with some avocado on it.
Continue on El Toro Road for half a mile.
The only thing I skipped this morning was eggs and bacon. That's it. But I also have cut veggies with some ranch dressing. I'm ready to go, y'all. I'm eating so healthy that I'm losing weight.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto the California 73 North Ramp.
I am hungry all the time because my metabolism is operating on full speed. And I'm losing weight. The last time I stepped on the scale, I was 148, so I'm still losing weight. And
turn right onto the California 73 North Ramp, then keep right at the fork to continue on exit Laguna Canyon Road.
I'm eating constantly, and I'm eating things that I enjoy to eat. Well, that guy's coming. Oh, we got a green now. Okay, cool. Okay, so you're gonna ride with me this morning because I have a long ass drive. I don't think I'm gonna take you all the way to the park, but I'm gonna
keep right at the fork to continue on exit Laguna Canyon Road.
When I go through this video, I'm gonna have to
in a quarter mile, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto California 133 North.
I'm gonna have to mute out all of these GPS prompts because you're watching in the moment, but I don't particularly
use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto California 133 North.
I don't particularly want you knowing like the exact directions I'm taking. So yeah, my knee slipped in 2008, and it was a very humbling experience because that was the moment that I really realized that I was like Oprah and I go up and down. It was also the moment that I realized I didn't have my cat-like reflexes that I had when I was a kid. Because I had incredible balance, and I had...
continue on California 133 North for 5 miles.
I had contortionist type abilities when I was a kid going through my dance lessons. I took some dance as an adult as well. I was still good, but I just was reduced because the decline started fairly early for me because I did so much work as a child that I did a lot of damage to my joints. I don't know if you can even see the background. Can you? Oh wait, I don't want this to fall out of the... I don't want this to fall out of its holster. Hold up. Shit. I did something wrong, y'all. Let me see if I can fix this. Oh, I got it back. Okay. I'm not pointing the camera forward right now, but there is snow on the San Bernardino Mountains in front of me. It hasn't gotten cold enough to snow on Saddleback Mountain, which happens occasionally. It is going to be cold today, though. The weather forecast is a 64 high in LA. As far as I've been told, have the largest canvassing operation that LA has ever seen. And I'm a team lead on this operation, so I'm incredibly proud to be a part of this. This is so fucking rad. But yeah, that knee... Okay, so in January of last year, I was going through the depression of... having a very successful win of flying out to Georgia and helping flip the Senate, getting on a plane, realizing that while I was on that plane there was an insurrection attempt, not knowing until I actually landed in John Wayne, Santa Ana Airport, that had happened, and then trying to figure out, well, what the hell happens next for me, because now I'm unemployed again, right? So I had gone through an incredible physical exertion to help flip the Senate. Incredibly difficult conversations to get people to turn in their ballots who were otherwise unlikely to turn in their ballots. You know, we were activating voters that...
In 2 miles, take exit 10 for I-5 north toward Santa Ana.
We were activating voters that were apathetic. And we got them out. And we did the job we needed to do. Now, can we fix Cinema and Mansion? Only if we primary them. I can tell you straight up, Unite Here went to Arizona as well, and everybody feels incredibly betrayed by Cinema. She straight up was like, I'm from the Green Party. I'm a leftist. You know what? We will encounter jerks in our world who try and exploit the system, exploit what's available to them. Jackson Hinkle's another good example. He got a lot of support from the Democratic Party in Orange County and from local activists, and he completely screwed us over too. Cinema did as well. People lie to us. We give them their, the support they need to actually get elected, and they fucking lie to us. That happens. Democratic
In
Party...
half a mile, take exit 10 for I-5 north toward Santa Ana.
The Democratic Party is the Big Ten party, so you've got a lot of people fighting within that party. Okay, Niall, I do want to talk about your show from yesterday.
Take exit 10.
Niall and Kaja are Orange County activists who do a weekly...
Continue for half a mile.
They do a weekly...
In half a mile, merge onto I-5 north.
You really don't need to give me this many prompts. For fuck's sake, I'm on the road, literally going to the 5 freeway. Give me a break. GPS gets a little overexcited. Okay, so Niall and Kaja live somewhere in Orange County, but they're very... they are protecting a bit of like where they're located, and I don't blame you for 1 fucking second. Like, people do come after us, and that's another thing with my memory feed. Is like all the stuff coming up, I'm realizing I'm gonna go through a lot of fucking painful memories this year, because I had so many political operatives thrown at me during 2021. They were really fucking with me because there was a chairs race for the Democratic Party of California. CDP, California Democratic Party. K10, California Democratic Party. They have so many acronyms, I just don't know why they can't stick to one or the other, right? So, oh, by the way, the K10 Progressive Caucus apparently had some sort of meeting on the 26th, 1 week after the other meeting they did, because they need to like constantly do like, oh, by the way, we're gonna have a meeting right now so that we can make decisions without having the full body of our membership actually vote. There's some fucked up motherfuckers, those guys. Oh, they're bad. They're bad. They're just like, they're trying to ram things through without the full membership body actually participating, because we're like, what? There's another meeting like 1 week later? People are confused by this. I was confused by it. I'm like, wait, we just met last week. What are you talking about? They're doing this on purpose, and they're giving you very little notice that it's going to happen. I work so much, there's no way I can attend all of these meetings. Okay, but Niall and Kaja. Okay, so Niall has some personal experience with Shahid Buttar, and I have expressed what I have heard on this topic several times. Ajamu, I imagine you might watch this. If you're watching this, then you should watch the very beginning of his show. He talks about his personal experiences with Shahid. Shahid has made some mistakes because he's been advised by a lot of knucklehead people within this movement. But to Niall's point, I am on the friends list with and have had telephone conversations with somebody who was working on his campaign for the 2020 cycle, who straight up told me that the Me Too allegations were embellished, but that the real problem with Shahid is that he doesn't listen to people, and that he's not respectful to his staff. He's a bit of a narcissist that way. Now, I have chalked this up to being somewhat of a personality flaw, that he's unwilling, because I've heard this about other candidates too. I'll be real, I've heard it about Eric Curry as well, who is also running in the same district. You guys think I don't know organizers who work on your campaigns? I do. I've heard the same bullshit about Eric Curry, okay? So the reality is this. He's a bit of a diva, and he's taken some really bad advice. I don't believe per se that the Me Too thing was a real thing, because we did a couple of things during this Me Too movement that made it like impossible for us to move forward. Number one, we said believe all women. Yes, I agree that if somebody is brave enough to come out with an allegation, yes, but I have a certain set of criteria around that. Number one, you should take the person to court. In my case, I took the dude to court. If you're not gonna, if it's so minuscule that you're not gonna take the person to court, then maybe you should not go there. Number two, we have seen political operatives try and take candidates down with this stuff a lot of times. And oftentimes it's embellished complaints. It's petty beefs. Masha Mendieta against Arturo Carmona. She came out with an entire hit campaign against him 6 days before his election, and her biggest beef was that she was an unpaid volunteer and wasn't included in staff for meetings, and that she felt that he made some misogynist statements. Then, a couple of years later, when it was used against Bernie, that was in 2017. A couple of years later, when that exact hit was used against Bernie while he was running for president, she was regretting that she did it. Honestly, women, you have to be sincere in what you're doing, because when you do shit like that, and then you're like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, you are absolutely ruining your credibility. And you're ruining the credibility of the entire movement. Like, if we're going to call out misogyny, if we're going to call out sexual harassment, sexual assault, then we have to be very serious about it. It can't be some petty beefs where you're just trying to take down somebody's campaign. I could go on and on about Shahid, about the various issues that I have with his campaign and how he's not listening to the right people. But I feel like there's a lot of people in politics who are not listening to the right people, and they're just not doing what they need to do, right? But yeah, the knee slip. I know, I'm going to keep going back to the knee slip. The knee slip was one of the first major injuries I experienced that really was long lasting. I mean, I had hip problems before that, but that was kind of just, well, I guess, yeah, you could probably count that, because it was like, it started 2 years after I took a desk job. I started getting sciatica. I had to start going to a chiropractor because my hips are a bit twisted, and my right leg is a 1/4 inch shorter than my left leg, and So all the joints on my right side are failing. But this, and okay, so I already had like existing joint issues, although arthritis is not coming up in the x-rays. I already had existing joint issues. So it's maybe probably more connected to like ligaments and stuff, tendons. Because I've also rolled my ankle twice, right? And I have the hip pain. But that last period I had back in January, everything from the lower back, waist area down was in debilitating pain while this happened. And that was rough. Like my start day was roughly a month ago. So I am now approaching my next cycle, assuming the booster didn't kick me off by a week like the shots did last year. And I'm already starting to feel the joint pain kick up, especially in my ankles, the arches of my feet. It's in my knees today too. Lower back is starting to go. So yesterday I walked, I was actually, because our team is actually starting to perform pretty highly, so we don't have to spend as much time like observing, coaching, etc., because they're getting to a fairly high performance level where we don't have to monitor the situations as closely. So I was put in a position yesterday where I had to walk a lot more, because when we don't have those training opportunities, we have to do a lot more walking on our own. I simply, this week, assuming my menstrual cycle is coming this week, it's not going to be possible. It's simply not going to be possible for me to actually get through an entire day of walking. So, because I already had existing joint issues, and now after taking this booster, they are amplified times 10, to the point where last month there were 2 days in which I could not walk at all. All I could do was hobble through my condo. Sucks getting old, y'all. I still have doctor appointments scheduled for the future to try and figure out what the fuck is wrong with me. For those of you out there spreading misinformation about the vaccines, if you do not have a medical background, if you have no college degree, if you are not a doctor or a nurse or some other medical related field where you actually have this knowledge, shut the fuck up. Find something else to obsess on, you ADH motherfuckers. Look, I can say that because I have ADH too, I'm sure. Find something else to obsess on rather than spreading misinformation, please. And for God's sake, I hope you get banned from all of your social media platforms. This is some bullshit. Okay, we are engaged in the largest LA canvassing operation LA has ever seen before. I know there's people freaked out by this, and I know that there's people who watch my social media and like get freaked out when I'm actually like doing something. Get over your fucking selves. We're going to get the job done. We're going to raise the minimum wage for hotel workers, and we're doing it in several cities.